Hello everyone, welcome to Optimal Timelines. I am your guide, Sean, in helping you to connect to your most optimal future timeline. So Tarotscope readings for the month of April 2022. Remember, you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. If you're unfamiliar with your North Node, there's going to be some links in the description box below to help you find, and also some videos about the North Node that you should watch if you care to. So let's get started on the readings. Okay, so this is going to be your monthly Tarotscope reading for April 2022 for everybody with their North Node in Leo and or the 5th house. So I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, so the spread on this side of the table represents the first half of the month from the 1st to the 15th, and this side over here represents the 16th of the month to the end. And this month I also did a book divination for all of the North Nodes, and what came up for you North Nodes in Leo and or the 5th house was playing life as a game and playing roles in order to help your life. Okay, so that came out big time. And what I mean by that is, with your North Node in Leo under the 5th house, Leo in the 5th house rules, drama, acting, performing, creativity is the 5th house, artistic ability, all those kinds of things are ruled by the 5th house in Leo. And what came up big time was that when you begin to maybe reframe life. Now look, life can be very serious at times, okay? But if you've noticed, have you ever heard of very, let's say famous and or very successful people? Have you ever heard them say that they approached things in their life, their businesses, their art or whatever it was, almost like a game so being playful is kind of what I'm talking about. The 5th house also rules children, okay? So the 5th house is ruled by children, so playfulness, natural playfulness. And there's something to be said for approaching life. You can approach life, there has to be a balance, okay? You can't be like a goofball, okay? But, we've all run into people where, they approach life like very, logical to the point of cynicism, or they approach it like in a very, like almost too serious, right? And then you have see the other end of the spectrum, obviously, where people are just like, take nothing seriously. But somewhere in between there's a time when you are, when you can be a little bit like more playful with life and relax things and sometimes not take things so seriously. It can really, progress your life. And so the first half, this whole month is what I'm seeing. There's going to be opportunities for you Leo North Nodes or the 5th house North Nodes to be doing this. One of the first things that is going to come up is I am seeing a situation where you are dealing with either yourself or someone in your life. There's some emotional discontentment. Okay, so there's a situation, probably a relationship, but it could be also it could be in a work situation or like a family situation, but I'm seeing this happen, okay? But I'm seeing this energy for this first half of the month, kind of like leaving you and beginning to leave your energy field. But here's the interesting thing that's happening. Someone in this situation, so whatever the situation is for you, I'm seeing one person in the party, of the party of two or more, okay, not an actual party, but I'm seeing them like trying to unburden and kind of release from the energy. This could be you or the other person. But then I see resistance on the other side. So I'm seeing this polarity of someone trying to kind of make light of a situation, or trying to unburden, and like, some people try to deal with serious situations in a little bit more of a lighthearted way. And then I see the other person resisting that, okay? And so this is an opportunity for you. If it's either going to be something where you have to maybe take a more creative, playful approach to the situation, and not just try to, because with your South Node in, the 11th house or Aquarius, it can be the tendency to like, try to cut emotions out and figure out everything, like logically or analytically type of a thing. And so as opposed to being it more like, playful and creative. So whatever the situation is for the first half of April, remember that try to take it as more of a, from a playful standpoint. Now, the other thing that came up this month for you was about part of this playfulness was about role playing. Okay, so follow me on this here. So, as I said, the fifth house and Leo rules drama, acting, any sort of performing. Okay, what can really help you in your life is think about role playing. Okay, so they do this a lot in companies. Like, just for a quick example, I've worked for companies years ago where, there were sales reps and they would go through a role playing, companies still do this, okay, where one person plays the customer, one person plays the salesperson, and they role play, and then they switch, and you can learn a lot from that. And what I'm seeing for you big time, is that doing this on a regular basis can be really helpful. So what do I mean by that? So let's say, for example, you are wanting to improve your romantic relationship, okay? You are wanting to, just strengthen it. You're wanting to improve it, okay? So instead of going into the South Node of Aquarius and like, okay, how can I do this and look at it from a very, scientific, detached, because that can be the tendency sometimes as you look at things from a very emotionally detached, scientific, as opposed to thinking like, okay, wherever you are in that relationship, so you play the role, what would a healthy person, if you were to play that role, what would a healthy person do? What would they say? How would they react? You know what I mean? So, you're looking at it like, okay, there is a situation where someone does something in a relationship, and it's like you can play the role of like, okay, you step back and you say, all right, I might have an initial reaction to this, but how would a more evolved person, how would a more loving person, how would a more intelligent person react or act in the situation? So that's just one small example of like adding role playing, and I'm seeing like there's advantages to doing that. You can use that for even positive situations, like, for example, I'll use like a job situation. You are, maybe there's something that you want to do, grow your personal side business, or you're in a company and you want to get a promotion. So you ask yourself, for example, well, how would a person act and what would they do? What would they say if they were the perfect candidate for this job promotion? Or if you have your own, trying to start your own successful business, you say, well, what would a person, and so, if you don't know the answer to that, you could actually look for examples. There's plenty of examples of, successful people in all walks of life, from relationships, to business. So that's kind of what I mean. What's really coming up, and you're approaching more. It's like what Jan Spiller says in her great North Node book, Astrology for the Soul. For North Nodes in Leo or the fifth house, it's like trying to approach life more like a game. Okay. Yes, it's serious, but we don't have to always take it so serious, okay? So this first half of the month, when someone in this situation is meeting the lightheartedness with kind of some opposition, look at ways to go into like role playing, trying to keep things like lighthearted. Think creatively in how you can approach that. And I'm also seeing too, with this situation also, with this Empress card here. So this is the resistance I'm talking about. Okay. The Seven of Wands, there's a little resistance, but you actually have the upper hand. Okay. You have the upper hand in the situation because it's like you are controlling to a large extent what the final outcome will be, whether or not you're getting, resistance or not, because it's going to be, challenging. But here with this Empress card, okay, as one of your advice cards, it is telling you, remember, when you have your North Node in Leo and or the fifth house, you are stepping into a role of a lifetime of someone who has dignity, who has, you could say, an air of like class and royalty. Okay, someone, this is a lifetime for you to step into this role with this Empress card. It's like step into that role of being seen and not just, being in the background of like one of many people in the background, but actually stepping forward. And part of that role that you're actually becoming, this inner queen, inner king, okay, wants to come out. And the universe will reward you for that, okay? But it's going to seem weird for a lot of you. You're like, I don't want to step out. I don't need to be seen. I don't need to be someone special. But that's what life's calling you to do. And the reason is because when you step into this role of this inner royalty, okay, you have gifts to give to the world, okay? So it's not like you're doing it selfishly, okay? So this first half, that's what I'm seeing. Play the game, okay? Keep it lighthearted. Try to find creative solutions to get through that, to get through the resistance. Now, I feel like a lot of you this second half of the month, okay, a lot of you are going to do well with this, okay? And I feel like what's going to happen though is it's going to get you to, you're going to be looking at something in your life, like some long-term goal that you're trying to achieve this second half of the month, and where it leads to. You're going to be thinking like how you can do it and where, it leads to. Now, what this is going to call on for you to do in order to get to this goal, because you're going to have some very clear ideas of what you want to do, but the role that you want to step into for whatever it is you're trying to achieve in this, it could be, like I said, a side, business. It could be something, you're learning, something for your future, or like a relationship that you're wanting to progress towards. Two things, passion and emotions, okay? go hand in hand. And what's happening the second half of the month is there could be some instances where it is going to challenge you to become passionate about something, to become emotional about something, okay? And it's about don't hold back. So, you have the Strength card reversed, okay? Look, the maiden with the lion, Leo, okay? She's trying to subdue this lion, and this is, our own inner, animal nature, okay? Which is good. We have two sides to us, okay? We know as humans, we all have an instinctual, animal type nature, okay? And it's about balancing that out. So sometimes for your north nodes in Leo, and the fifth house, it could be uncomfortable to come in contact with that primal nature. That's what this is, like a primal nature. And also it's very uncomfortable and distasteful for you to sometimes be emotional, okay? And so it's like a painful thing. So over emotion, becoming too passionate, or that primal drive within you. And so this is what's really wanted to come out, a balance between the logical, analytical mind and that primal nature, this second half of April. And that's whatever is going to transpire, because for each of you, it's going to play out in a slightly different setting. Okay, if you think of plays, and it's going to be the same energy, but it could take place at a kitchen table at home. It could take place in a business, in a boardroom. It could take place on a stage somewhere. Like, it's the same energy, but it's a different setting. Okay, so when you are challenged, remember, and you feel like you're being pushed into becoming passionate about something, becoming emotional. Remember, it's a balance between that. You want to not go overboard on it, but it's definitely saying, how you're going to get to your end goals, okay? 4 of Wands, 3 of Wands, okay, is to become the master of your emotions, okay? Not over emotional or overly passionate, but adding that into your life. So that's what I'm seeing for you for this month is, remember, this card here is what popped out. Again, what I'm seeing is the balance, okay? You see the high priestess, and what gives her power is the balance between the two pillars, okay? The two polarities, or in this case, we'll say, I always like to say like yin yang, okay? The yin nature and the yang nature, and the yang nature, or the masculine nature, is natural to your south node in Aquarius and or the 11th house, which is analytical ability, intelligence, mind power, okay? But then you have the yin side balancing that out, which is your emotional body, your passions, your creativity, okay? So it's a balance between that. And that's really simply all you're learning for a good part of this year. But definitely the things that come up in our life are there to help us toward our highest path and our optimal timeline. And I can tell you, when you follow your North Node path by sign and house, you begin to see that the universe helps you, okay? It's amazing to see. Doors start to open, the wheels start to grease, and you start moving into the, good direction and the best timeline for you, okay? So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this reading was helpful to you. Thanks for sharing some time with me. If you could hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit subscribe. If you'd like a personal reading, there'll be a link in the description box below. And just love having you on the videos. Shoot me out a comment if you want. All that stuff helps the algorithms. So much love, much appreciation. We'll see you again on some more videos.